Thank you, Dr. Shiva. Dignitaries on the dais and in the audience, guests, and members of the community around which this hospital has been built, my greetings to you. I've been asked to touch upon the relevance and the need for a hospital such as the one we have here. And I was also told, after I'm done with in English, to try and say the same things in Tamil, which I shall try. While sitting here, I was going back to how Dr. Sera and I and some of our junior colleagues got in touch with Thirumalai Chemicals on an issue where they were interested in looking at public health priorities and in primary care, while we were interested in looking at training our students in chemical spillage, which some of you would know about in the Ranipat area. One of the things that struck me right at the outset was that Mr. Parthasarathy, using his own influence in the community, had managed to provide good quality drinking water for the communities around the Ranipat area. This was an immense job, and I think he needs to be praised for this. So the chemical was, of course, hexavalent chromium. Somebody was not careful in cleaning up their act, and it had got into the subsoil water. Now, it's from that initial time when we started interacting, we got involved quite deeply with the primary care work that Thirumalai Charities was doing around these parts, and also their effort at social development. During our visits, what we came up with was that the primary care activity is very good, it's essential, but then where do you refer your patients when they need to go to the next level of referral, which is like a secondary care hospital? And that is when we started talking about this concept that you see here, the Thirumalai Mission Hospital. This was just over 2 years ago, I would think, and I would say that I came here perhaps towards the end of last year, and I can see that this hospital has come up really fast. Some of the issues, the elements that I could see are already built in to the vision and the mission statements in this hospital are elements such as evidence-based medicine, use of protocols, rational use of drugs, all of which are things that some of my predecessors have talked about. One of the issues that we felt would require the services of the secondary care hospital is that in primary care the focus has always been on the mother and child, on immunization, a little bit on control of communicable disease and very little of anything else. What we have seen over the last 10 years is that the silent killers, the diabetes, the hypertension, the ischemic heart disease, coronary heart disease, have all spiraled out of control. In primary care, there is a scope for doing something about this, provided it's backed by a secondary care hospital. On the issue of evidence-based medicine, I just want to give you a small example. Having worked in this district for the last 25-30 years, there is a test for typhoid called the Vidal test. Virtually every laboratory does a Vidal test. It is perhaps the most widely abused test because the kit that is used always gives you a little positive when you don't have typhoid. Out of 10 you test, 4 would come up positive and they would get treated for typhoid. Tremendous abuse in terms of the use of the test and in terms of unnecessary antibiotics that are given perhaps to 1,000 patients every day in this district. One of the things that we had talked about with the Parthasarathi's was that the evidence should also go right into the laboratories and into the interpretation of the results, and that has to be a driving force in this organization, and I believe that their vision and mission statements have actually ensured that this will happen. The advantage of having under one roof many specialties is immense. The patient does not have to go from pillar to post, to get all their problems sorted out under one roof. And I think that's going to be a major reason why this hospital venture is going to do extremely well. It's going to fulfill the needs of 3 towns, 3 large towns, and about 2 to 3 lakh population around these parts. Before I say my few words in Tamil, I must tell you that we have been so proud to be associated with you, and we shall continue to help you. And there is this little verse which I have, which is actually on the card that we gave you when we came here. It says, it takes heart to dream dreams, it takes faith to make them come true, and to reach that bright star meant just for you. Congratulations. தமிழில் சுருக்கமாக ஆங்கிலத்தில் நான் சொன்னதை சொல்ல முயற்சி பண்ணுகிறேன். ஒரு 30 வருடங்களாக ஆரம்ப சுகாதார பணிகள் நானும் என்னுடன் இங்க வந்திருக்கிற மற்ற சிஎம்சி டாக்டர்களும் பணிபுரிந்துள்ளோம். இந்த ஒரு 2 வருடங்களுக்கு முன்னாக திருமலை சேரிட்டிஸ் இங்கு செய்யும் ஆரம்ப சுகாதார பணிகளை வந்து சந்தித்தோம். அப்பொழுது ஆரம்ப சுகாதார பணிகள் மற்றும் இந்த கம்யூனிட்டிக்கு பத்தாது, ஒரு செகண்டரி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல், ஒரு 2ஆம் ரெஃபரல் சென்டர் தேவையாக இருக்கும். ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் தொடங்குறது தானு சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணோம். இதில் இந்த ஆரம்ப சுகாதார பணிகள் மட்டுமல்லாமல் மற்ற சிகிச்சைகளும் செய்ய ஒரு மையம், இதை போன்று ஒரு மையம் தேவை என்று சொன்னோம். அதுதான் இந்த மையம். ராணிப்பேட்டையும் வாலாஜாவும் ஆற்காடும் சுற்றி இருக்கும் ஒரு 2-3 லட்சம் மக்களுக்கு இந்த ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் உதவி செய்யும் என்று நாங்கள் நம்புகிறோம். திருமலை சேரிட்டி மெம்பர்ஸுக்கும் இங்கு எங்களை அழைத்த மிஸ்டர் அண்ட் மிஸ்ஸஸ் பார்த்தசாரதிக்கும் எங்கள் வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். வணக்கம்.